Welcome back to the Holdsworth Homestead. It is Labor Day, so I thought I would do kind of a summer and fall update. Well, I'm about to transition between summer and fall crops. Although you wouldn't know it's coming up on fall, it is noon and it is 90 degrees right now. You can actually see these are some of my Tabasco peppers on the end here, and they're right on the edge of this shade cloth where they're still in a fair amount of sun. And you can see, being noon, they're kind of wilting at the edge of the shade cloth here. But you can see they've got hundreds of Tabasco peppers that are just waiting to get ripe. And these are almost my height. So they're coming up on probably about 5 feet here. And these just happen to germinate really, really well. So I have a ton of these Tabasco peppers in here right now. Hundreds of them, just waiting to turn red. And then I have kind of a neat one called the jigsaw pepper. That they're kind of a variegated foliage, and the peppers kind of turn color. They go from a purple to eventually red, and then once they turn red, they get pretty spicy. So these Tabasco peppers are just everywhere. Got some pandan leaf in the back there, and some Piper Battelle. Some different plants that are just for flavor. And then on the bottom, I have some Suriname spinach. These are volunteers that have just dropped seed outside of the system, as well as some jewels of opar. These ones that have the red seeds, they just like to go to seed all over the place. But those are kind of some greens that are really heat tolerant and will just grow in the summer. Okinawa spinach, that's another green that will take the heat in the summer. Got some chocolate mint, another heat tolerant prolific grower. And then right on the corner here, got some goji berries. So one little red ripe one, and then got some up and coming berries right there. Just kind of playing around. I've got a Jamaican strawberry tree right there. There's a few more in the next plant trough. Need to pull these guys out before they turn into full-on trees, and I can't get them out of here anymore. And then I've got some motherland okra. You can see these massive leaves. And then you can kind of see the flowers up here. So I have to be careful of these because they get so huge that they actually stretch out the raft because they get so large. So they can get up to about 15 feet tall, supposedly. And you can actually eat the leaves, which is kind of more why I grew these. But they are pretty impressive. That's actually taller than me. It's got to be a good 5.5 feet at this point. On the back, I've got some Malabar spinach. So another very heat tolerant green that will take full sun and grow well in the summertime. And then in the back, you can kind of see I've got some squash starting to come up. Got some squash and some gourds going. But with as hot as it is, I really have to keep on top of these for caterpillars and for stink bugs. If you go one day without washing them, the caterpillars will take them out pretty quickly. Over here, I've got some cranberry hibiscus. Kind of have that cranberry flavor. You can eat the leaves on those. And then down in the bottom, kind of just something fun to play with, almost more just for propagation. I've got this Hilo Buddha sugarcane, but once they get a little bit bigger, they have this really kind of neat hot pink and green striping to them. Just kind of a novelty, pretty fun. I need to clear out this space pretty soon to grow some tomatoes, getting into the cooler weather crops. But up on this trellis, I have this really pretty blue butterfly pea that's taking the heat like a champ. And then this Tindora vine, which makes kind of like these little baby cucumbers. And the leaf on them looks like an ivy leaf. And what's good about these is they don't seem to have the problem with the borers that cucumbers do. And then when they mature, they kind of get red and mushy, and they have a totally different texture, which I'm not a huge fan of, but they're very similar to a small cucumber when they're young like this. More of these strawberry trees in here, which are falling over at this point, and I need to take out and pot. And then I've actually got some baby dragon fruit, the yellow variety that I started from seed, that have grown pretty quickly. and then some polar bear pumpkins, and a couple tomatoes just waiting to go on this trellis. Once I pull all of these guys out, you can use those blue butterfly pea to make a tea. They turn the water purple, and then if you add lemon to it, it actually turns pink. So on the opposite side here, something that's also just kind of cool and different, I've got an indigo plant, just starting to make some flowers here. So this one I may also take out of the system. They can get to be pretty decent size, but just something else to try. Might put that one in my pollinator garden. This is a plant that's called tilo, and that's used for making tea. Have one on the other side as well. And basil this time of year, it grows well in the heat and the sun, but when it gets a lot of rain, it can also get fungus. So it's kind of 50-50 as to whether that's gonna do well or not. Trying to do some different medicinal stuff. I've got some skullcap going in here. That's just one that I haven't done before. And then in the back, I've got some more edible hibiscus. This is the variegated version of the Jewels of Opar. Doesn't seem to be nearly as prolific. Got some smaller leaf mint on this side. It's got a really nice flavor to it. I'm not 100% sure what the variety is though. More of the tilo. And then more of the giant Tabasco plants. I'm just gonna have a ton of Tabasco this year. This vine on the back is called cat's claw. That's used for making tea, but I haven't tried that one yet. More of this giant motherland okra. That's had some caterpillars on it though, unfortunately. More squash and gourds in the back. This is called magenta plant. You can take that, boil the leaves, and make an extract to turn rice magenta color. Got some turmeric plants in pots, so I'm kind of using my wastewater to grow those. We'll see what I end up with at the end of the year. And over here, it is just too hot for lettuce right now. I've tried some of the most heat tolerant varieties that I can find, but as you can see, they're just struggling. Got some new basil plants over there, so we'll try that out. And then since the last video, I added a couple more fish tanks. So I've now got 2 tanks of tilapia just to spread them out. My biggest tilapia I've had in here for 1.5 years. So the biggest ones are now over 4 pounds. Pretty good size. Got the rooster going there. And then the last tank, I separated out some of the nicer koi. Got some big ones in there. And then I also have some tilapia in here, which were ones that I actually found mostly in my swirl separator as little tiny babies, and then put separately in their own small tank until they were big enough to put back into the system. And I put them in with a koi mainly as algae control, so that they would eat the algae off the side and the bottoms and keep the tank in a little bit better shape. Thanks for watching.